Hi guys, it's Carol. How are ya? I heard on some show or I read it, I don't know. Anyway, four professional bakers were trying cake mixes and going to determine which one they thought was best. And they thought the Dolly Parton cake mix was the best, so I thought I'd try it. I usually make homemade cake, that Texas sheet cake recipe, and I love that. My whole family does, but we're going to try this. You need 1 stick of butter melted, 4 eggs, a cup and a half of water, 2 tablespoons oil, vegetable oil, and then here's the frosting, creamy chocolate buttercream. That sounds good. And it's the favorite chocolate cake mix. I'm a little shaky, trembly today, so Rhett's going to do this for me. He's pouring the cake mix in my mixing bowl, and then he's just going to add the rest of the ingredients, the water, the eggs, the butter, and the oil. And we're going to mix that up. Okay, Rhett's got it all whisked up. He's going to pour it into my pan. And it said use a whisk, not a mixer. I was surprised. But my granddaughter Taylor bakes a lot of cakes, and she told me she always uses a whisk. So that's what the directions said. That's what we did. Now he's getting it in the pan. And we're going to make it bake it 30 to 32 minutes. After 30 minutes, I took it out. Oh, it smelled really, really good. It baked up nice, and we're just letting it cool so that we can put the frosting on. Now, I really like this frosting. It is not like a normal container of ready-made frosting. This is different, and it's really, really good. Compared to other cake mixes, this is definitely much better. The texture is different. Like I said, the frosting is much nicer. I don't know. I really liked this. I still prefer homemade Texas sheet cake, but if you don't want to make a homemade cake and you want to just be able to mix it up quickly, this is an excellent cake. I really liked it. So did everybody in my family. Now, my sister told me, and my granddaughter told me, that you can also take just any cake mix, a cheapy store brand, anything, and make it taste much better by adding 1 more egg, exchanging the oil for melted butter, and instead of water, use milk. I've never tried that, but they have, and they really like that. Now, one thing about this cake is it's much more expensive than other cake mixes. The cake mix itself was $2.98. The frosting was $1.98. And a Betty Crocker cake mix is $1.68. They were $1 for a long time, but they've gone up to $1.68. So there is a big price difference. Next, I'm going to make a recipe that is new to me. It's called Salisbury steak casserole. And let's give that a try. Let me show you what you do. Okay, guys, you know I always tell you this is not a cooking channel. I'm not trying to tell you how to cook. I'm showing you what we're having for dinner. And I lost my video of where I was doing the beginning of it, so I'm just going to tell you what you do. The ingredients you need are 1.5 pounds of lean ground beef, 1 can of French onion soup, 1 can of cream of mushroom soup, 1 package of dried onion soup mix, some pepper, 3 tablespoons flour, 1/4 cup ketchup, 1/2 cup water, 2 tablespoons Worcestershire sauce, and 1 can of French cut green beans drained. You preheat your oven to 350. You are going to brown your ground beef with a little bit of pepper and 1/3 of the can of the French onion soup. When your beef is all done, you're going to pour the rest of the ingredients on top. In a bowl, you mix the cream of mushroom soup, the French onion soup, the dried onion soup mix, the flour, ketchup, water, Worcestershire sauce. You mix all those together in a bowl. Blend it with a whisk, really good. You pour that on top of the meat, and then you put the French cut green beans on top of that. Next, you want to put a layer of mashed potatoes. It said use leftover potatoes. I didn't have any, so I had to cook some potatoes. It said that you need 2 to 3 cups. I bet I put at least 4 cups of mashed potatoes on there, and I could have used more. It wasn't a thick layer at all. Anyway, you bake that in the oven for 20 minutes. Since I had made it in a pan that could go in the oven, I just stuck that pan in the oven. But if your pan can't go in the oven, if it has, rubber handles or something, pour it into a casserole dish. This is what I served it with: salad, corn, and our casserole. I loved it. I thought it had a really good flavor. Casey, Rhett, and Taylor were here, my daughter and my grandkids. They did not like it. But they don't like their food mixed up. They said they would have preferred it if I had the meat separate from the potatoes and the green beans. They didn't like it all piled together in one pile. So there you go. I liked it. They didn't. I probably won't make it again since they didn't like it, but I thought it was pretty good. If you would like to see the recipe, I found it on Pinterest. It's just called Salisbury Steak Casserole, and it came from numstheword.com. Oh, good grief. This was the recipe I needed the dried mustard for. And I did put it in the recipe. I just forgot to tell you, you use 1 teaspoon dried mustard. My daughter and my granddaughter ran to the store to get one of the ingredients, and they came home with flowers for me. Taylor said it was because it's International Women's Day, but I'm going to say the flowers are because I had such a terrible week. I wasn't physically ill, and Casey is much, much better. The only thing she has now is a bad case of vertigo, but she got some medication for that, but she's over the other stuff. Mine was all mental. I just had a really difficult time this week, and I'll tell you about that in another video. Okay, I hope you're doing well. Oh, it's snowing very lightly, but it's snowing. That will certainly help with the wildfires, I hope. Anyway, let me know what's going on in your world, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye-bye.